Sorry, go ahead.
Clip.
This is Hillary Clinton, I believe, on Capitol Hill yesterday,
Yes.
talking about fake news.
It's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. This isn't about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk. It's a danger that must be addressed, and addressed quickly. It's imperative that leaders in both the private sector and the public sector step up to protect our democracy and innocent lives.
So, Mika, what do you think about Hillary Clinton coming out and talking about fake news?
I'm not sure. I'm really sad about how things have happened. Honestly, that's what I think of.
I mean, the context, of course, is what happened up in
I know
Northwest.
the context.
And apparently she did call this guy. And, you know, I don't think fake news contributed to her loss. I'm not saying that.
That's what she suggested.
I know, and I think that's wrong. I mean, I think it played a role in the conversation in the election. I don't think that's disputable. But it's a big problem, right? I mean, it is a huge in our industry.
It's been a big problem for about 10 years?
Yeah, well, it's becoming a radically big problem.
No, you haven't seen fake...
Actually,
have you logged on?
The ability of these stories to spread and get hundreds of thousands of views, and they are not even close to reality. I mean, some of the stuff is really insane.
Yeah, it's insane what's out there.
It is insane, and it has happened for a long time. Trust me. It's happened for a long time.
I don't trust you.
You can't. You got to take the bed. You can't have the puppy dogs and the tutus dancing, and then also not have fake news. So this has brought us. You're staring at me like, what am I talking about? There's so many wonderful things that happen on the internet. Like I said, the dancing dogs and the
I don't want to hear about your personal life.
I've got to say though, Willie, when you look at this with fake news and you see what happened up at Harvard, and you hear everybody writing articles saying millennials caused Hillary Clinton the election, and you know, dogs with 3 legs caused Hillary Clinton the election, and comets passing in the night. I mean, Hillary Clinton caused Hillary Clinton the election. Hillary Clinton's campaign staff caused Hillary Clinton the election. Well, Democrats need to face the fact they need to listen to Joe Biden. They need to listen.
I think he's a better person to say it.
They need to listen to Ed Rendell. They need to listen. No, I mean, listen, if you care about Democrats digging out of the hole that they have put themselves in now,
I do.
You've got to ask yourself, what have Democrats done to so offend Americans that they only have 11 governorships, that they've lost control of the Senate, they've lost control of the House, they lost 900 legislative seats over the past 6 years, 6 to 8 years. 6 years, past 6 years, they've lost over 900 in our home state of Connecticut. My God, it was something like, I don't know. Democrats were ahead something like 120 or 130 to 38 or whatever. Now it's practically tied. The Senate's tied in blue Connecticut. Democrats have got to figure out what have they done to offend Americans on all levels. It wasn't fake news. It's something much, much bigger, and it's something that's happened for the past 6 years.
And in the last month, I haven't seen a lot of signs of learning. I mean, you've heard from Joe Biden, you heard from Tim Ryan as he ran in opposition to Nancy Pelosi, focusing on the kind of people that cost Democrats the White House this time. But it looks to me like doubling down on the things and blaming other things that perhaps didn't have as much influence on the election as they believe.
I've spoken privately to some leading Democrats, and the top kind of narratives or feelings that they have are scared to death and really angry.
You know, Mika, if you look at the way we all covered it, we actually were putting a light on it, because they would go, okay, Trump's getting, 84% of uneducated white voters, but Hillary Clinton's getting 93% of the African-American voters and 84% of the Hispanic voters and, 43% of the millennial voters. So they were actually articulating the problem as they were covering it and saying, well, we know we're not getting these people, but when we put it all around the fringes, it'll all add up.
We're gonna
and I
be
think
fine.
the problem is also, because she did win the popular vote by, what, 2.7 million, the party is going to say, okay, we have a popular mandate here. We just got to get these people in the right states. And that does end up causing some friction with trying to learn the right lessons.
So weird. I remember when he came down the escalator, and the moment, I remember thinking, everyone had these reactions where they laughed at the concept. It sent a shiver down my spine, and I thought, this is the first time I don't get my party that they're laughing at this. Everyone else was too, but I was specifically concerned about Democrats, thinking this is who they would want as the nominee, like that they could just totally kill this candidate.
So if you're a Democrat, And you're blaming
captured
fake
the imagination
news.
of Americans.
Blaming fake news. First of all, you're suggesting that most smart Americans can't figure out the difference between real and fake news. But secondly, what you're doing is you're focusing on one race. And again, you're ignoring the fact that 4 out of 5 governors are now Republicans. That's staggering. You lost 900 legislative seats over the past 6 years across the country. That Republicans control the Senate. That they're going to win even more, most likely in 18, because so many more Democrats are up. Democrats have got to face the fact that they have lost Middle America. And but going around saying, "Hey, we want 2.5 million more votes in the Hill," I understand that frustration. Great, take over California. You already have. You won California, New York by huge margins. Until you change the system, you got to win Wisconsin. You got to win Ohio. You got to win Michigan. And talking about Elizabeth Warren going out and saying, "Oh, well, we got more votes for Senate candidates and more votes for," as I said a couple weeks ago, well, if football championships were won by who ran the fastest down the field, I guarantee you, Nick Saban's team would be the fastest in America. But that's not how you win football games, and it's not how you win presidential elections, banking votes in California.
In Hillary Clinton's defense, she gave a nice long tribute to Harry Reid, and that was just one part of the speech she made there. And I can understand from her point of view, she got more than 2.5 million more votes.
It's so frustrating.
Than her opponent. And she's looking for reasons and answers. But it's the people around her in the Democratic Party that
That's
need
what
to
I'm
start
sad
looking
about.
at what happened and why it really happened. And I do think, we talked about it a lot in real time in September, but not as much in the post-mortem. The deplorables comment. Oh. That comment hit so hard to so many people in the states that decided the election. I think when history looks at it, it'll be her 47% comment that really
You're
hurt.
absolutely right.
That's actually a great point.
And
Great
it's so
point.
fascinating where we started here this morning. Joe Biden, thank you, Billy.
Just amazing.
I think he deserves a hug.
So great. Donnie,
Get you in the break.
Now the deplorables.
It's really a good point.
That
No one's talked about it.
Was
Cut deep.
the 47% comment.
And
for this
now
year.
Joe Biden.
And it was a rallying cry for his people.
Talking about how what he said on our show during the conventions was actually not listened to, but that he got a lot of flack for.
Mocked and ridiculed. Again, I will say from the same.
He says he got into trouble.
You know,
what does that mean?
I think I read something on the Huffington Post where somebody
Good that you're reading.
was sniveling at Donna Brazile, saying you're going to die of old age, but we're going to die of global climate change. All this,
I remember that.
All this other stuff.
When I was concerned the campaign was not understanding that perhaps there was an arrogance. They needed to sort of get off their high horse and understand that this isn't over. I'll just say it. NBC got a call from the campaign. Like I had done something that was journalistically inappropriate or something and needed to be pulled off the air. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
That's just... That's
Well,
shooting the wrong messenger.
By the way, Mika, there were also people surrounding the campaign that tried to tell the campaign it was in trouble. Those people were shut out.
And here we are.
Yeah, mazel tov and all that good stuff, man. It's for all my folks who got legal jobs. You beat the odds, you feel me?
We ain't supposed to be here, never thought we'd see it. Now we living proof, tell the world to believe it. Congratulations, thank God we made it. They told us we was nothing, now I know they hate it.